Hello and welcome to my channel. Today's video will be a birthday card for my cousins Antoine and Marcellus. Creating masculine cards can be challenging for me especially because I tend to gravitate to flowers and bows and sparkly things like that. When I find a design that works for the other half, I enjoy sharing it with you and I hope that you will try it. This card design uses die cuts and 3-step stampings to create this look. Let's get started with this video. The stamps I'm using today is the Color Layering Squirrel by Hero Arts. This comes with dies. The Halftone Hearts stamp set by Altenew. This also comes with dies. I'm using the Celebrate border by Fawn. And from Stampin' Up, I'm using the Something to Celebrate stamp set. I use this very often. It has so many good sentiments in it. The Sheltering Tree stamp set and the Hardwood stamp set. I will also need some white embossing powder and some rhinestones, which I have here. Okay, let's get started. I'm going to start off working on the wood panel. So this is a all over large stamp, so I'm going to just lay it flat on my work surface just like this and ink it up. So I'm bringing in my kraft, just go all over to make sure you got a good coverage. When you're inking a stamp that's larger than your paper, it's always a good idea to ink even more than you think you need. That way you don't inadvertently leave an important part with no ink on it and you won't know it until you go and do it. So I'm just going to lay the cardstock right on top and cover it with a piece of paper and just smooth it with my hands and transfer the ink to the paper. You can do this with any large background stamp, whether it's wood mounted or cling like this one is. Okay, I'm pretty sure that's a good coverage. Okay, I'm going to take my tweezers and just lift this up. And there we have it. Okay. Now this needs to be moved and cleaned. Alright, this just needs a few seconds to dry and it'll be fine. Now I'm going to set this over and pull in my white panel, one of my white panels, and I'm going to stamp the squirrels. I've already put the stamps on my MISTI tool where I need them to be, and I'm not going to go into too much detail on how to do this. There is a video on my channel where I go into more detail about the 3-step stamps. I'll leave a link for it down below. But basically this is a photopolymer, so you can look right through it and line the stamp up and get it where you need it to be. And stamp the first one, which in this case would be the most solid, and then take the next one and line it up right on top of it and stamp it, and then the same thing for the outline. In this case I'm going to start off with the outline. So in here you can see it's right where it needs to be. Bring in my inks. When you're doing 3-step stamps, it's a good idea to get the stamps in order that you need them, so that you don't have to stop and think about it and you can just go right through and stamp it. Okay. And there's my little guy. And now I need to, I'd have my cleaning rag not on the table, so I have to stop and think, where did I put it? Alright, I don't want to transfer that water. Close this. And now I'm going to move up and get the next one, which I think it goes this way. Double check, is that right? Yes. Okay, now that is the most solid, so that's going to be the lightest one, which is desert sand. And there he is. And now for the other guy, which is going to be peanut brittle. And make sure that he's in the right place, and he is. You of course can use any color for this squirrel. You don't have to use brown. And after I did the card, I thought maybe I could get away with a gray squirrel, and that would give it a little bit more color. But I'm going to stick with the brown since that's the way I did it here. Okay, and there he is. I'll move this out of the way and move on to the next step. The next part, I want to stamp the It's Your Birthday, and I want to be sure that I've allowed enough room with the heart in place, so I'm going to bring the heart die and hold it about where it's going to be cut, making sure that I get all of the squirrel in. Straighten it out. And I'm just going to stamp right through the die cut. Okie doke. Clean that real quick. I think I'm really going to have to bring that rag back up on top here. All right, now I have a piece of foam, which is adhesive back, and I'm going to stick it to the back of the wood grain paper. Do that real quick. This is cut just a little bit smaller than the paper, but not so much too small that it'll make a problem, because I have a bit of trouble lining up two pieces exactly. Whereas if it's a little bit smaller, then that gives me a little bit of wiggle room, and that ends up helping me a lot. So let's see if I get it on here. Yes, otherwise it'll extend over and then you can see it, and I don't want that to happen. So now, to get the squirrel and the heart to line up, these two pieces are the same size for this very reason, and I'm going to put the squirrel on top and bring the heart back in and make sure that I get the squirrel where I need him to be. Okay, and once I'm satisfied with it, I'm going to slide my finger behind and pull out the white. I should put this down, it'll be easier. Okay, let's try that again. Now I'm going to pull out the white and hold the heart in the same spot. There. Okay, I'm going to tape this down with a piece of adhesive tape, which I have put out of my hand. Oh dear. Don't move, I'm going to reach for the tape. Okay, now I have the tape. I'm going to take some of the stickiness off of it, put it on my hands, my clothes. I just need it to stay put, not move. Okay. Now set that aside for a moment. And I'm also, while I'm at it, going to die cut the word celebrate out of this paper. And make sure you leave a little bit down here because you're going to need it. Okay, so die cut the heart, die cut the celebrate. Be right back. Now this gives part of a heart, which I'm going to use in another card. I'm probably not going to make a video because it's just so small. And I have my plate to keep all my little die cuts together. And now I'm going to move on to the next thing. With this little piece of black scrap, I'm going to stamp the sentiment, "Let's Go Nuts." So I'm going to use my Versamark, and surprisingly, I'm going to use my handle from my Stamp-O-Majig because I need to be sure that I go straight down on this and not make twist it as I go, because if I twist it on the way down, there's a good chance that I might leave some Versamark where I don't want it to be, and then I'll get smears, and I don't want that. I'll go this way. So I'm just going to stamp this up real quick. And I know that I'm getting it all over the side because it's a very narrow stamp. So let's see. Just going to look through and eyeball this. I know it's difficult for you to see because this is black on gray, but I really I think this part's self-explanatory. So now that I know that I'm on the paper, I'm going to put the handle down, and this in the corner, and straight down and straight up. Okay, you can't see it because it's tone on tone, but I'm going to bring in my white embossing powder and just dump that right in, and then you will be able to see it. There we go. Nice and straight. A little bit of smear, but I can get that off with a clean paintbrush. So I'm going to emboss this off camera. I just took a pair of scissors and trimmed this out because I don't have a die cut that is this exact size, so that's fine. Throw away the scraps. Now the rest is just putting everything together, so I'm going to do that now for you. And that is the finished card. I didn't realize that I forgot to give the guy his little acorn before I put the front down, but it was easy to fix. I'd like to thank you for watching this video. Please hit that subscribe button. I hope you will try a similar card design yourself. It is very easy to do. And I hope that Marcellus and Antoine enjoy this card. I'd like to thank you for watching my channel. I'd like to thank my brother David for the music that he provides, and I hope that you are enjoying it. Have a great day, everyone, and take care.